Hello and welcome. You must have heard of the brand Neurobion. It's an old brand. It's been around for a long time. You must have used it as a supplement in perhaps during illness or maybe even good times. You may not know that it's been around for more than 50 years. Well, how does this brand stay alive? What does the company do to keep it alive? And what goes on behind the scenes, so to speak? Well, I'm going to ask S. Varadarajan, Director, Head of Commercial Excellence at Merck Serono, to tell us more about this. Varadarajan, so Neurobion was just an example, right? I mean, it's a brand that's been around, but it's been kept alive and so on. But what does a pharma company like yours, which is a giant pharmaceutical company, do to keep brands going and nourished and active and useful for patients and consumers as it happens?
Thanks for asking this. Neurobion is a case in point, because some of these brands which are nurtured due to some strong processes in the organization, and these brands are built by a legacy for long years. So now what happens is most of the pharmaceutical companies in India, these brands are then slowly pushed towards the lower value chain, especially the rural market, because you have a brand width for that and you have lesser profitability. But what comes to the mind is that, is it the right way of doing it? So sometimes we need to have a data analytical in place. We try to see what's the carryover effect means. Very clearly we see that the brand may be quite popular, but is it because of huge prescription support from the customer, or is it because of the OTC potential, where the patient is aware and he takes it because of the huge strong branding which it carries? So we need to have a balancing act and then see that the brands are accordingly kept in the geography. So this is the experience which we had. So again, coming to the point is that pharmaceutical industry have normally tried to push some of these larger brands towards the different markets, because they are not able to get penetration in the urban market because of new brands entering into it. And they also see that the value proposition which they want to get from the customer, instead of having a basket range of product, they want to have a specific range of product to be focused. Now again, getting into this, whether right or wrong, it all happens during your experience of launching the brand to the doctors, and you come out with success sometimes you don't. What I see from India is that peculiar thing is that many of the Indian companies have launched fixed dose combinations. They bundle together 2-3 brands and they say it's offering compliance because the patient has to pop up only one pill compared to multiple pill. The disease conditions are taken care and the customer is also buying. There can be a lesser logical reference for that, but still it's been the case in India. So sometimes, you know, it is exactly opposite to the marketing fundamental of the multinational company. But what we have learned from this art of the game is, let's not have a carpet bombing of trying to say the Europe and US standards are fixed in India, but we need to have a localized strategy towards making the company effective towards better customer engagement.
So give us an example.
The one classical example is if you take the nutraceutical market, which Merck is presently in, like a couple of brands like Neurobion and Evion, we have been into nutraceutical market. But you should also understand that company like Merck is also having a larger specialty brands like Erbitex, which is for head and neck cancer. We are also into the fertility because of the acquisition of Serono. So now what the balance is, the top of the mind recall for the customer is more of nutraceutical. Now we get into the space of oncology and fertility, but not bringing the nutraceutical as a bandwidth. We want to be in that space. So we have a very clear categorization how to target the right customer at the right time with the right message.
Right.
So
but
we go with that.
Do customers sort of migrate from a trusted brand to another brand from the same portfolio? I'm guessing not, but what is your experience?
I think it's very important that the customers do not react to similarly across. Some of the geography, if you go down south, they are, because the south experiences, they want to have some sort of new products, as well as some of the new brands have clicked much better. And the disease conditions like diabetes is more prevalent down south. So if you see diabetic and cardiac products have, the sales are much better. So we need to have a specific strategy. But if you see the east side of the market, there are different set of portfolio you need to have. So you can't have a set sort of product across. But however, because of the company and the business model, we do have business functions focusing on nutraceutical, focusing on this set of customers with the right doctors. Now coming to Erbitex, we have a specific team which are key account managers. We have 20 such people who go and promote this particular disease condition beyond looking at the pill. They get engaged and there is a sort of consultative selling process and they see that the cancer is not just by Erbitux, but beyond the particular disease conditions are being
So
discussed
what's
with
the larger trend that this is responding to, this way of selling, or this combined way of selling?
See, the answer to this is not there is not a single direct solution for this. I think it's the portfolio which is very important. It's the customer need which is changing across, because India is such a large country. You can't have one particular solution for this. So you have to have a multiple strategy, and the portfolio which is there, you need to give it as a solution to the customer. That's the only answer I have.
Right. So how is the market looking like in, let's say, the next couple of years for Merck in specific and the pharmaceutical industry in general? I mean, what are the shifts that you see in terms of brand acceptance and brand consumption?
See, for the past 1 year, there has been a lot of confusion. The market suddenly has,
Because of price controls.
Yeah, because of the price control, there has been a slowdown. However, there is no panic, because those companies will survive where the fundamentals are very strong. Again, coming to the point is, your portfolio is important, your sales force capability, how they engage the customer is important, and finally, how do you close the loop, by multiple areas of touch point to reach the customer. Now, coming to this, today's context, we are in the crossroads in the pharma industry. I think the days ahead will showcase that what would happen to those pharmaceutical companies, and how those companies will survive, and some of the companies may be completely extinct. So there will be a proliferation of generic portfolio. There would also be the market dynamics would change, the models may change, as some of the doctors would like to have customized approach.
Right.
So you need to change yourself accordingly. So this is my perception, individual perception. However, as organization Merck may be having a multiple touch point, because there is a global mandate as well. This can completely be different. And sometimes they also say that, for example, specialty business, that should be aligned with the global portfolio and global marketing strategy. So it's absolutely the company specific, and some of the individual perception are always better to challenge to the local needs.
Right, Varadarajan, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you.